Hello guys, welcome back to Poke Belgium. It's Sen speaking today, and today we're because yesterday we told about Worlds format and about what to play, and now we are going to explain you some decks and deck profiles. So obviously people that know me, you know I love Nightmarch. It's my favorite deck. Some people will hate me, but I don't care. Um, what you see here is my winning deck list for Nationals. And I'm going to show you some tech cards, some cards to play for matchups, consistency cards, cards that you should play, cards that you shouldn't play because of Steam Siege. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to do. So first I'm going to take a look at this deck list. Of course you're playing 4 Joltik, Pumpkaboo and Lampent, which is standard. You play 3 Shaman, obviously 4 DCE, 3 D-Valley, 4 Trainer's Mail, 4 Puzzle of Time, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Versus Seeker and 4 Battle Compressor. For supporters, we play 3 Sycamore. Obviously, you have to play Sycamore. It's just Juniper for better visuals. 1 Lysander, 1 AZ, 1 Teammates, 1 Hex Maniac, 1 Delinquent, 1 Judge. And for item cards, I mean like taggy item cards, we play 2 Pokemon Catcher, 1 Target Whistle, Starting Megaphone, Escape Rope, Tone Map, Flowstone, and 2 Fighting Fury Belt. So this was the deck list that I used to play at the Nationals. But as you can see, there are some tags in this deck. So some cards that we don't need now because we have better options. For example, you don't have to play Delinquent. Delinquent was just one of my tag cards. And you don't have to play Pokemon Catcher because these are 3 tag cards. So what do people play nowadays instead of those 3 cards? Because Giratina was always a big problem. So just for visuals, Giratina Chaos Wheel was always a big problem because it locks you from playing special energy cards. So you can't play your DCE, so you can't attack, which is a pain in the ass for Nightmarch. So we decided to cut those 3. And now we played in this deck list. We decided to play E-Hammer and Sorosic, those 2 tag cards. So as you can see, the whole deck list is in white sleeves and my tag cards are in black sleeves. So E-Hammer and Sorosic. So some people decide to play this to play against Giratina. And also because they had one more plays, you also played 1 more Shaman, so 4 Shaman just for consistency. I don't know, is it? Yeah, I normally should see it. So they play 4 Shaman and 1 Sorosic and 1 E-Hammer to play against Giratina. Okay, how did the deck develop? Obviously you don't need Judge anymore because now we have N, which is just a way better card. So people play N. N is just way better. Okay, next I'm going to finish first with Giratina. Most people now are really happy that if they are playing Nightmarch because you don't have to play Sorosic and E-Hammer anymore. Because one of the cards that Steam Siege gave us was Pokémon Ranger, and Pokémon Ranger is just a really good card. I don't think Giratina players will play Giratina anymore because of this card. It's a really good card, very versatile, and you can play it in every deck, or you should play it in every deck because it's just really good. If you play this card, for people that don't know, all effects on the Pokemon go away. So things like Chaos Wheel, Quaking Punch, all effects, Jolteon's attack, Flash Ray, they go away and you can just attack or you can just attach DCE. So Pokemon Ranger is definitely a one-off card in this deck now. And we have one more play, so what can you play? You can just play some other consistency cards or some tech cards. Maybe you still want the E-Hammer, maybe you want to play, for example, a Captivating Pokepuff to force your opponent to play something. And of course, I would opt to play a Special Charge, but I don't have Special Charge yet. But Special Charge is also a really good card in this deck. Yeah, you can just choose whatever you want, because now we have Pokemon Ranger, which does the job of E-Hammer and Sorosic in one. Okay, I'm going to cut that Pokemon Ranger again, so we have 2 places now, I guess. No, 3 or 4 even. Yeah, doesn't matter. Just to give you some perspective. What do people also play against Giratina? It's just an option, but I don't think you should do it. It's playing a Marowak and a Maxi. Some people used to play this and expand it because it's just really good against Giratina and Seismitoad. But now that we have Pokemon Ranger legal, I don't think this is the best option, but it's still one of the options if you don't like Pokemon Ranger. And you can also include Gallade in this deck list if you're afraid from lightning or just want something what's good against N-1. Yeah, it's up to you, but I would just play Pokemon Ranger. Next, most of you guys probably know that US Nationals was won by Nightmarch, but not this version of Nightmarch. It was won with Vespiquen Nightmarch. And what means Vespiquen? So you play a 4/4 Vespiquen line. And of course, you play Unouns. So most people think Uno is just necessary to boost the damage from Vespiquen, which is true, but also Uno is just very good against late game N. For example, if your opponent plays N to you, N to 2 or N to 1, and you still have one Uno on your bench, you can just discard and draw one more card, and hopefully you'll draw Sycamore or whatever you need to get back in the game, or just to have your counter supporter. So if you want to play, these are 12 cards that you want to fit. Of course you can play, like, you can cut one Uno and play a 4-4 tree line or a 2-2 Vespiquen line, but this is just an example that won US Nationals. So if you have to fit 12 places in the deck, what are you going to cut? Because that's a difficult question. Now what did our winner from US National decide? He decided to cut Trainer's Mail, which is basically it is not good for your consistency because you cut 4 consistent cards and you add non-consistent cards. He decided to not to play Fighting Fury because Fighting Fury doesn't benefit from Vespiquen, so that's 6 places. He probably could. I'm not sure about everything I'm saying here, but just what you could cut for those cards. You could play one Dimension Valley. For one Dimension Valley. What else did he decide? Okay, you can play maybe one Shaman, or you can opt to cut. It doesn't really matter. I don't know how he got all the plays, but he's already 8 places, and you can play like a 4 or a 3-3 tree line. And then, for example, teammates, because not that necessary. Sycamore, if you really want to play that. Maybe as you hear my voice, I'm not a really big fan of this because I think consistency is key. But I'm not saying it's bad because it won US Nationals, but for me, personal, I won't play that. I would prefer to have consistency. And now with Pokemon Ranger, since Seismith isn't that much of a threat anymore, it's still a threat, but it's just less threat now. I think you should play Trainer's Mail for sure. So if you wanna play with this, it is really good. It is good against Seismitoad. It's good against Greninja, so it's definitely a good play. Some horrible mentions that some people used to play back of the good old days of Nightmarch. People used to play Milotic with Sparkling Ripples, which is also a really good card, but thanks to Puzzle of Time, we don't need Milotic anymore. I've seen some people who try to play Milotic and Puzzle of Time, but that's just lack of consistency and it's just an overkill to get things back from your discard pile. You can still give it a try, but I don't think it's necessary because it was also really good to get your double E hammer play against Giratina, but now thanks to our Pokemon Ranger, we don't need this anymore. Lately, 2 or 3 months ago, I've seen some people try to play Bursting Balloon. Why in God's sake would you play Bursting Balloon? It's just really good against the mirror match because obviously Pumpkin has 60 HP and Joltik has 30 HP. So Bursting Balloon knocks out your opponent if they try to attack you. Of course, if they don't have Fighting Fury Belt. But I don't think this is really beneficial for this deck because you just have to play a really good mirror, and mirror is always a bit luck. It's like 50-50. It's not that consistent, and against other decks, if they hit you and you do 60 damage, you're probably going to one-shot them anyway. And if you're not one-shotting them, then you're not so good. Then your position in the game is not that good. So it's just a mention. You could play this. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is a really good card. I think I've mentioned everything I wanted to say except for one more option, that's playing Acrobikes. I played Acrobikes a lot myself. Around Christmas meta, all people played Acrobike, but now it's not that good anymore because sometimes you can mill 2 resources that you really need, like milling a Versus Seeker and milling one of your last marches late game, or milling DCE. There are a lot of things that could go wrong with Acrobike, and that's why I'm not a big fan of this card. But still, it is a really good card. People used to play this in Nightmarch. You can still try to test it with other cards, I don't know, but I would not play it at Worlds. So last thing I want to mention, what do I think of Nightmarch? If I would go to Worlds, but this year unfortunately I couldn't go to Worlds, or I still can go to Worlds, but I have re-examination, so I can go. I would definitely play Nightmarch. I'm not sure about the build that I would play, but I think Nightmarch is for me the most consistent deck. It never lets me down. But of course you have to test a lot. You have to test against Vileplume variants, you have to test against Trevenant. Yeah, you need to know what you have to do in every game situation, because most people say that Nightmarch is an autopilot deck, and I say Nightmarch. I think maybe you will call me crazy, but I think Nightmarch is one of the most skilled decks in this format because you have so many resources that you have to take track of. There is a big difference between good and bad Nightmarch players. But you have to find out for yourself. You have to play a lot of Mirror, because I think a lot of people will go and play a Nightmarch at Worlds. So that's basically it for today's deck profile. And there's one more question that I really want to ask you guys. Since we're trying to upload more content for you guys, I just want to ask: do you want more serious card things, like more deck profiles and more battle videos and things like that, or do you also want some fun things like playing on PTCGO and playing some troll decks like, I'm not sure, like mill decks or fun decks, or just trying to KO, take all prizes in one turn? It's just up to you guys, because now we're, of course, we're still busy with school, but it's easier nowadays to put more time in playing Pokemon, and we can also put more time in our YouTube channel. So it's up to you guys if you think we should do more fun ideas, maybe some other content. If you have suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I would love to read all your reactions. So that's it for today's deck profile. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys soon.